Hello, everyone. What's going on? Happy Thursday? Yeah, whatever. What's going on, everyone? Welcome. I have not watched any of this yet. I have not seen any little bit of this, but I'm very excited to watch it. And I was like, oh, okay. You know, I see clips popping up. I see them on Twitter. I haven't watched anything. I'll save some of it for the show tomorrow. Then I kept seeing clip after clip after clip. Like, okay. You know, maybe this isn't going to be good for the show. And then I saw somebody tweeting about it, like, okay, I'm going to do a stream. I haven't done just a random pop-up, out of nowhere stream. And I don't know how long. So it might be fun. It might be fun. Just do a little gimmick here. I got my lunch. I'm going to sit down and enjoy while we do this. Got a nice salad. Now, let's see who we got hanging out in the chat. Random Thursday morning stream. Little Nuts, hello. Ziva, I hope I'm saying that right. Spoofers. Moopy, just another guy actually catching a live neat. Well, I'm glad you're here, buddy. Big Dave. Brian Morissette. Chilatus. Fuck, I'm sorry. Daryl Odell. Haley. Nicole Shiru. Space Trucker. As opposed to a Scribe Ambush. Look, man, Scribe Ambush streams are fantastic in and of their own right. That's enjoyable. Dixie Wrecked Political Sin is my favorite sin. Yeah, I mean, I like to get in a little bit. Blackout, what's going on, buddy? Deech Peach, hello. Wow. Maybe I have to mix it. The fuck are they doing out there? Mix up my streaming times a little bit, because there's a lot of names here I don't often see. A salad for lunch with a burger. I wish. I gotta try to eat better, so I just have a stupid Cobb salad with some type of chicken on it. Ooh. Mad Yikes on Bikes followed on the Twitch. Thank you very much. What the fuck are you guys doing out there? I'm so ready to get this election over with. Same, honestly. It's this has been, and I say this every election because every election it gets worse, I feel. This has been the most misinformation laden election I have ever seen. It's been terrible. And they're pulling out some of the classic stops, like, you know, Trump is literally Hitler and blah blah blah. It's hilarious. Yeah, there's ham and beans. Did you know Trump was Hitler? Yeah, that's a potato salad with crispy bacon, very healthy. It's a salad. I don't think that's quite how that works. I mean, it might. Chilitis. It sounds like a disease. I can't come into work today. I got a bad case of chilitis. Oh yeah, what's that? I don't know. Every Republican ever is yeah, the big bad mustache man. Yeah, it's getting quite irritating. This election cycle specifically has been ridiculous. The Kamala ads are unskippable for me, and it's killing me. It's how do I want to word it? It's hilarious and terrifyingly sad, I think would be the best way to put it. But we're going to jump into this because I have a metric shit ton of shit I have to do today. So I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know how long this is going to take, but I want to jump in and get to. So if you guys would be so kind as to hit the like button, you know the deal. Share it out on your socials, all that fun stuff. Streamlabs is listed down below with a fucking metric shit ton of locked donations over here on this side of things. And you guys know what the deal with that is. We're going to get right to while I prepare my salad.
And welcome. We are live from Chester Township, Pennsylvania, Delaware County.
Galen.
Critical counties.
Long time no see, Galen. How's it going?
Around Philadelphia that will help determine who wins the White House. Welcome to CNN's Presidential Town Hall with the Democratic nominee, Vice President Kamala Harris. I'm Anderson Cooper. Now, in this
Plan
room,
to
we have
Pooper.
assembled a group of 32 Pennsylvania voters who say they are still undecided or persuadable.
Who the fuck? Honestly, and this is a legitimate question. Who is undecided in this election so far?
All of them are registered to vote. Some cast votes for Joe Biden in 2020, others for Donald Trump. Some didn't vote at all, and for some, this is their first election. Many are leaning right now to one candidate or another, but they all say they have yet to make their final choice. Now, we found these voters working with a nonpartisan research firm, as well as business and religious groups, universities, and other civic organizations.
I don't know, man. I'm just not buying literally any of this setup. Like, I call me a conspiracy theorist again, but I feel like every single person in here was specifically chosen and vetted by the Harris campaign because we just know the kind of people they are and that there's no authenticity to be seen.
These voters are asking their own questions tonight, selected by CNN to cover a variety of topics. You may see them holding a piece of paper when they're asking their question. It has their question on it. That is a question they have come up with. It is
No, it is a question that was handed to them by the representative of the Kamala Harris campaign, and you cannot convince me otherwise.
not been edited in any way by CNN. We also invited former President Donald Trump to participate in a town hall or a debate. He declined. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Vice President Kamala Harris.
And here's another question. Why do you... I'm sorry, I'm making all the noise. I'm getting my food ready. Why do you think Trump would effectively come out and campaign with people who have been nothing but outwardly and unabashedly hostile to him? What makes you think that he would do that for your ratings? It's not going to help him.
Vice President, thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks. You have a mic right here.
Thank you.
Thank you
Good
so much.
evening, everyone. Good evening.
Thanks so much for being with us. We're going to get to the audience in just a second. I want to start by asking you, though, for weeks you have been calling Donald Trump unstable, unhinged. You've called him dangerous. You've quoted General Milley recently, who called him a fascist. Today, you quoted General Kelly, who said that Trump repeatedly praised Hitler.
Yeah.
But there...
So we're really doing this, huh? We are really running with the Trump. I'm so sorry. Trump has repeatedly praised Hitler. Can I have an example?
There are tens of millions of Americans right now who have heard all those things, and they don't
That's the first time I'm hearing of him praising Hitler.
buy it, or even if they do, they're still going to vote for Donald Trump.
Wow. Holy shit. The poisoning of the well right out of the gate is insanely strong. Oh, I guess I did leave the train running. Fuck it. We'll just let the train roll. So Trump praised Hitler, but there's tens of millions of Americans who don't care. How did he word that? I got to hear that again.
They don't buy it, or even if they do, they're still going to vote for...
Oh, they do buy that he praised Hitler, but they don't care. They're still going to vote for him because they're Nazis, right? That is a wild accusation to just breeze past. It's insane. Like, that's actual crazy person talk to just breeze past it, too.
Donald Trump. He's arguably more popular now than ever. You have 13 days to go. What do you say to those voters to convince them? Because some of them are in this room.
Sure, and I thank you all for taking the time to be here. And you could be doing a number of other things with your time. So this really is proof that we love our country. People are engaged, Anderson, and really want to talk about the issues. And so the issue that you raise, yes, I do believe that Donald Trump is unstable, increasingly unstable, and unfit to serve.
You said Joe Biden was fit to serve. What is the mental capacity difference between the two?
And I don't necessarily think that everyone has heard what you and I have heard repeatedly, which is the people who know Donald Trump best, the people who
Hey, Scribe.
worked with him in the White House, in the Situation Room, in the Oval Office, all Republicans, by the way, who served in his administration, his former chief of staff, his national security advisor, former secretaries of defense, and his vice president have all called him unfit and dangerous. They have said explicitly he has contempt for the Constitution of the United States.
All right, but you're just making noises. None of this is actual proof. This is just you making noises about something somebody else said at one point somewhere.
They have said he should never again serve as president of the United States. We know that is why.
Okay, you're making a case to why Trump shouldn't win. Sell me you. Why should I, the quote-unquote undecided voter, be persuaded to vote for Kamala?
Mike Pence is not running with him again, why the job was empty. And then today we learned that John Kelly, a 4-star Marine general, who was his longest-serving chief of staff, gave an interview recently in the last 2 weeks of this election, talking about how dangerous Donald Trump is. And I think one has to think about...
Okay, you're still not selling me Kamala. You're attempting to dissuade me from Trump, but you're not selling me Kamala.
Why would someone who served with him, who is not political, a 4-star Marine general, why is he telling the American people?
Yes, just because you're in the military means you're not political, i.e. military.
Well, now. And frankly, I think of it as he's just putting out a 911 call to the American people. Understand what could happen if Donald Trump were back in the White House. And this time, we must take very seriously those folks who knew him best and who were career people are not going to be there to hold him back. At least before, there were folks who we know what he would say, but they would restrain him. Imagine... Who was sitting there holding Trump's hands behind his back going, no, Mr. President, you can't do that. They make Trump out to be simultaneously, literally Hitler, a power-crazed fascist, doing every dirty political deed to get into the highest position possible, and also a bumbling fucking retard who can't tie his own shoes. Like, you cannot be both a political mastermind and a giant dipshit. Now, Donald Trump in the Oval Office, in the Situation Room, he who has openly admired dictators, said he would be a dictator on day one. The former chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff has said he is a fascist to the core. So I think that when the American people...
So we're just quoting people, as Scribe would say, familiar with the matter. An unstable genius. Perfect.
Reflect, especially those who are undecided, on who you should listen to. Don't take my word for it. In fact, go online and listen to John Kelly, his voice, talking about what he thinks of Donald Trump 2 weeks before the election.
Have you seen him on the podcast? Does he seem like a Stalloner?
Because I think we all know, to your point, Anderson, it is close, but there are undecided voters who clearly...
I'm not falling over myself in praise of Trump. We've talked about this ad infinitum. I don't feel like I need to go into it again. But you're not selling me Kamala.
By being here, have an open mind, want to talk in a way that is grounded in issues and fact. And when they hear these facts, I think it compels a lot of people to be concerned about...
All this does, in reality, all she's doing right now is telling people that even if they don't like Trump, like me, not a big fan, I'm going to have a chippy. Even if they don't like Trump, that it is better to hold your nose, hold your nose and vote for him, rather than deal with this, an actual human marionette who was just for the past 5 minutes of her big CNN town hall said fucking nothing but repeating the same point over and over and over, stuff that she heard other people say that they heard once 4 years ago.
about the future of our country with Donald Trump at the lead.
You've quoted General Milley calling Donald Trump a fascist. You yourself have not used that word to describe him. Let me ask you tonight, do you think Donald Trump is a fascist?
Yes,
Oh,
I do.
Use that word to describe him. Let me ask you tonight, do you think Donald Trump is a fascist?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
okay. Qualify it. Why?
And I also believe that the people who know him best on this subject should be trusted. Again, look at their careers. These are not people, with the exception, I think, of only Mike Pence. These were not politicians. These are
What? Mike Pence is what? Hold on.
only Mike Pence. These were not politicians. These are career people who have served in the highest roles in national security, who have served as generals in our military, who are highly respected.
By who? I cannot think of a single military member that falls over themselves to respect Milley in any way, shape, or form. Most people don't like him because he's, I've heard him referred to as a sellout. I'm not in the military, so I can't give, the finger on the pulse. But I've seen more of his political stuff in the past 6 years than his military stuff.
Talking about the person who would be commander-in-chief, not to mention what we know and what they've told us about how he talks about the military, servicemen and women, referring to them as suckers and losers.
Oh my God. The same lie over and over. You keep saying these are military members. They're generals. Like somehow that their rank in the army means that their integrity cannot be questioned. Does she think she's shaming, God damn it, Midwestern people into voting for her over Trump by implying that the average person cannot question General Milley's integrity?
How he demeans people who have taken an oath to sacrifice their life
Okay, that answered my question.
for our country. And I do believe, Anderson, that part of this is why, even just this week, I traveled this state and others with Liz Cheney, former Congress member who was a very high-ranking Republican.
Oh my God, who the fuck cares about Liz Cheney?
She has endorsed me. Her father, the former Vice President of the United States, Dick Cheney, is voting.
The same person that 3 years ago you and your party were calling war criminals. You're not boasting about that endorsement for real?
Voting for me. Over 400 previous members of the administration, from Ronald Reagan to both Presidents Bush to Donald Trump even, have endorsed my candidacy. And the reason why, among them, is a legitimate fear based on Donald Trump's
It's a legit, they hate Trump.
words and actions, that he will not obey an oath to support and defend the Constitution of the United States. He himself has said he would terminate the Constitution of the United States and wants.
He never said that. We are now 7 minutes in. She has not given me 1 point to want to vote for her.
To earn your vote, to stand again behind the seal of the President of the United States? No one. Standing behind the seal of the President of the United States of America.
I'm not sure, honestly, who this is supposed to appeal to, because I cannot think of a single person who's going to watch this and go, you know what, she's right.
Should be in that position saying they want to terminate the Constitution of the United States.
This is Annalise Keene. She's from Philadelphia. She works as a fundraiser for Habitat for Humanity. She's registered with no party affiliation. She says she's a Democrat. She's leaning toward voting for you.
Yeah, I had doubts of who she was going to vote for.
But said she's yet to make her final decision, in part because of the conflict in the Middle East. Annalise?
Thank you, and good evening, Madam Vice President.
Good evening.
I want to see somebody actually push her. I don't think they're going to. I don't think that's what we're going to see here. But I want to see somebody actually push Kamala on her Middle East stance. Because as we saw during the debate that we watched with Scribe and I believe Drunkle, that she has this huge moral superiority thing about doing any type of diplomacy with people she deems below her.
My question is, as president, what would you do to ensure not another Palestinian dies due to bombs being funded by U.S. tax dollars?
Oh, okay, that was a good one.
So I will say, and I think this is to your point,
What point? She didn't make a point. She asked the question.
far too many innocent Palestinian civilians have been killed. It's unconscionable. And we are now at a place where with Sinwar's death, I do believe we have an opportunity to end this war, bring the hostages home, bring relief to the Palestinian people, and work.
Okay, so what are you going to do about it? The correct answer to this would be stop funding the Palestinians and the Israelis to kill each other, because it's crazy watching my tax dollars shoot at each other.
Work toward a two-state solution where Israel and the Palestinians in equal measure have security, where the Palestinian people have dignity, self-determination.
Oh my God. They're not worried about dignity. They're worried about the shooting stopping. No one's going to turn around and go, well, it looks undignified that Israel stopped shooting. I think they should bring it back up again. I think they should start doing more bombs, actually. Nobody is going to fucking say that. That is in-fucking-sane. Are you shitting me?
And the safety that they so rightly deserve.
Where is there is no answer. Absolutely no answer. You're making me dislike my very delicious lunch.
What do you say to voters who are thinking about supporting a third-party candidate or staying on the couch, not voting at all because of this issue?
Listen, I am not going to deny the strong feelings that people have. I don't know that anyone who has seen the images who would not have strong feelings about what has happened, much less those who have relatives who have died and been killed. And I know people and have talked with people. So I appreciate that. But I also do know that for many people who care about this issue, they also care about bringing down the price of groceries.
What? I'm sorry, I forgot the question. What are you talking about?
They also
You want something better than the salad? No, the salad's fine. It's a Cobb salad, there's some chicken and whatnot, and it's okay.
care about our democracy and not having a president of the United States who admires dictators and is a fascist. They also care about the fact that we need practical, common sense solutions from a leader who is willing to work across the aisle on behalf of the American people and not themselves. They want a president who cares about a fundamental freedom.
Yeah, I think that's what she's going for here, Scribe. Groceries for affordable groceries for dead Palestinians. There is still no answer. Why? Hold on 1 second. Why is it so hard for her to just come out and say, you know what? Like Trump said, we're going to stop giving them fucking money. We're going to stop giving our tax dollars to these people to shoot each other. We're going to stop doing that. We're going to stop giving Iran money. We're going to stop giving Israel money. Just say that. Just fucking say it. God damn.
To make decisions about your own body. Understanding that we're not trying to change anyone's belief, but let's not have the government telling women what to do with their body.
I want you to meet Beth Sandberg. She's a realtor, a mom of 4 from Bella Cynwyd, Pennsylvania. She's a registered Democrat, says she's undecided because of concerns about anti-Semitism. Beth?
Hi, thank you for being here.
Thank you, Beth.
you for remembering we need to bring the hostages home.
Of course.
The rise of anti-Semitism and violence from anti-Semitism has risen greatly on college campuses and on our city streets in the last year. How would you combat this growing trend and protect our young adults?
Thank you, Beth.
Hi, Yikes.
You are right, and I will say...
I didn't listen to the question. I have to pull it back. I'm sorry.
The rise of anti-Semitism and violence from anti-Semitism.
Oh, my God. Dude. Okay, you know what?
Has risen greatly on college campuses and on our city streets in the last year. How would you combat this growing trend and protect our young adults?
Thank you, Beth. You are right, and I will say that we have seen a rise in anti-Semitism. It is something that we have.
Okay, you're not writing an essay. You're not doing an MLA format college paper. You don't need to repeat the question back to them. What are you going to do to help stop anti-Semitism? I'm going to put it out there that XYZ, here is a plan, or I don't know. I haven't looked into the issue. Well, you know, the anti-Semitism is really anti-Semiting. It's anti-Semitisming. If she was writing an essay, she'd. No, I'm being persnickety, but she fucking deserves it because. Look, let's look at this from the lens of somebody who like virulently hates Trump. Okay. Trump, I will never vote for him ever, no matter what. He is a fascist, I believe, blah, blah, blah. Fine. Let's look at it from their perspective. Is this winning you over? Is a living, breathing marionette of a person who cannot answer a question, who cannot do any of this on their own, is this what's going to win you over?
Have to be honest about, and we have to deal with. As Attorney General, I actually published a hate crimes report on a regular basis, and anti-Semitism was among the highest.
Why didn't you publish a report saying how you kept black men, young black men, incarcerated way past their date so you could use it for free, cheap labor? Very cheap, not free, cheap.
Forms of hate.
If you guys are enjoying my morning rants, please hit the like button, share it out on your social media, throw it on Twitter, throw it in Discords or wherever. If you want to support, you know how to do that. Super chats and memberships are fucking phenomenal. Also, Streamlabs listed down below with, I think, like 40 locked mystery Halloween donations.
In our country, and this was before October 7th. And we know what we've seen since. Part of what we've got to do is talk with people so that they understand what are.
Thank you, Dingleberry Pie. I hope today, I know I've said this like the past 3 weeks, but I hope today I have enough time to sit down and record the next part. I'm going to try my best, I promise.
Are the tropes, what are the roots of what we are seeing, so that we can actually have people be more understanding. We need to have laws in place that make those who would commit crimes on behalf of anti-Semitism and hate, that they pay a serious consequence. We need to have the deterrence so that doesn't happen. We need to.
Okay, so are you going to go after part of your base? The most extreme part of your base that is absolutely pro, and I mean this in all sincerity, the part of your base that is pro anti-Semitism, like the Hassan Pikers, the other lady whose name is escaping me right now, Phaedra, you guys know who the fuck I'm talking about. Are you going to actively say, no, you cannot do that to those people?
Ensure that college students are
Frogan,
safe
thank you.
in their school and feel safe to be able to go to class. But I'm going to tell you what doesn't help. Again, I invite you to listen and go online.
The other fat hijabi.
To listen to John Kelly, the former chief of staff of Donald Trump, who has told us. Donald Trump said, why aren't my generals like those of Hitler's?
Huh.
Like Hitler, who has...
I'm going to look this up because I don't believe this. Trump, why aren't my generals like Hitler's? Okay, why aren't my generals like Hitler? what John Kelly said about Trump and Hitler, a list of high-profile military leaders slamming Trump. Evening Report, criticism of Kelly, John Kelly. Here we go. From News Channel 6, Wichita, Kansas. Trump wanted generals like Hitler's, said the Nazi leader, and it's 4-0 Ford. Okay, let's see if we can find someplace else. John Kelly, New York Times. Trump asked aide why his generals could be like Hitler's book. Oh, a book. Okay, so there is no proof of him saying this. She's just repeating something she heard someone else say about somebody else hearing something 5 years ago. Okay, perfect.
Ferd, several times we've heard the reports for years.
Do you believe Donald Trump is anti-Semitic?
I believe Donald Trump is a danger
You can't say yes. You absolutely can't say yes to that.
to the well-being and security of America.
He has said that he's casting himself as a protector of Israel. Do you believe you would be more pro-Israel than Donald Trump?
I believe that Donald Trump is dangerous.
Yes. We have reached the Israel dick-sucking portion of the stream.
Believe that when you have a president of the United States who has said to his generals who work for him because he is commander-in-chief, these conversations, I assume many of them took place in the Oval Office. And if the president of the United States, the commander-in-chief, is saying to his generals, in essence, why can't you be more like Hitler's generals, Anderson? Come on.
There is no proof of this. If you, just give me 1 second. I'm sorry. Okay. Mank Pete is rating with a party of 6. Thank you very much. Okay, I'm done eating after this chip. No, I should have stayed with the first one. I want a big, fat chip to be my last. Okay, here we go. Go. It's lunchtime. I'm sorry. Okay, here we go. So we're supposed to take this at face value from something Kamala heard from somebody who read a book from somebody else who heard it 7 years ago. That Kamala heard it from somebody who read a book that overheard a story told by Trump. Wait, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 degrees of separation. The silent snack. I needed lunch. I had a good workout day and I was hungry, so I had a salad.
This is a serious, serious issue. And we know who he is. He admires dictators, sending love letters back and forth with Kim Jong-un. Talks about the president.
Now, this is very dangerous. This right here is very dangerous. Is he just not supposed to be in contact with people who are enemies of the state? And the idea that she thinks it's bad to be in contact with people like the Saudi family, like Kim Jong-un, she thinks it's below her to be in contact with these people is actually terrifying. What he's doing is called diplomacy. Is that going to be a thing of the past in the Kamala administration? I know you don't care much for Officer Tatum, but he did a very good video on this morning. The Trump Nazi dictator comments, definitely worth a watch. I'll wait for AJW.
Of Russia, and then most recently, the reports are that in the height of COVID.
Yeah, it is still absolutely no reason to vote for her other than that she is not Trump. That's it. That's all we're fucking seeing right now.
When
Nebula, what's going on, buddy? Long time no see.
most Americans could not get their hands on a COVID test, Americans were dying by the hundreds a day.
I texted Lelouch after the hurricane rolled through, and I was like, did you get washed away? He's like, no, I watched TV.
He secretly sent COVID tests to the president of Russia for his personal use. So, again...
There's a pragmatic necessity that world leaders sometimes need to maintain relations with the leaders of states to operate antithetical to their... Well, that's the thing. It's like, okay, right now, close your eyes. I am the president of the United States. I would have to maintain direct communication and an open line of diplomacy with the House of Saud. I would have to maintain this with the leader of Iran, because as the world's biggest superpower, I just can't go, I can't talk to those people. What do you mean I have to talk to North Koreans? Ugh, no. Are you out of your fucking mind?
This election in 13 days is presenting the American people with a very significant decision. And on the one side, on this issue of who is going to model.
Oh, look, if I don't say it now, I will absolutely forget. Starting... Nah, fuck it. I guess starting now, I'm going to be doing the 20% to the little guy gimmick that I did last year, where every donation at or above $100, 20% goes to a $20 toy I'll get from Target or Walmart that will go directly to Toys for Tots. I'm doing that again this year. It'll go now till the end of November, because I figure if someone's donating $100, they actively want to donate $100. It's not like, oh, it's a thing, we're going to donate 100, blah, blah, blah. They actively want to donate $100 if they're donating that much, so I could take 20% and do it for the Toys for Tots thing. Usually we do the Tiltify gimmick, but last year we did 20% to the little guy for the first time, and it was like 3 times as much than we ever did with Tiltify. I think it's actually more than the combined years we've done Tiltify. So that we're going to start that now till the end of November. It's going to be 20% to the little guy.
What it means to use the bully pulpit of the president of...
And give me a stream or two. I'll make a little graphic that'll go on every stream. That'll be a counter for how many gifts we got.
The United States. In a manner that in tone, word, and deed is about lifting up our...
Your boobs?
Discourse, fighting against hate, as opposed to fanning the flames of hate, which Donald Trump does consistently.
Okay, can you give me one legitimate example of how he fans the flames of hate? Because I am very unsure.
I'm going to tell you. We are an incredible country, and we love our country. Y'all wouldn't be here unless we love our country. And there are certain things where we've just got to come together. And
right now, over me.
Realize that we do believe in the importance
I wasn't muted that whole time, was I?
Of healthy debate on real issues. But there are certain standards we've got to have. And, you know, another point that even John Kelly talked about, I believe, and many have, is January 6th.
Oh, okay. That's fine. Andrew Thorson just says gobbledygook. No, you weren't. Okay. Because I looked down because I blew my nose and I was muted when I was trying to talk. I was like, oh, fuck. I didn't just sit there in silence that whole thing.
Where you have the president of the United States defying the will of the people in a free and fair election and unleashing a violent...
It's not toys for the little guys. It's 20% to the little guy.
...mob who attacked the United States Capitol. 140 law enforcement officers were attacked. Some were killed.
Babe, we got, what, like 20 or 30 toys last year? Like, we got a fucking lot of them.
And so I say that to say... The American people...
As an idea, Sinatra tries to do Super Saiyan Santa outfit for charity. Ooh. Ooh. All right, let me pull this back, because I was reading chat. 26. Yeah, it was like 26. It was a lot. That I need to get a gi. I don't think my Taekwondo one from middle school would still fit. Not a bad call.
We have.
And of course it goes up. Like if someone donates 200, that's 40, 1,000, that's, 200. Like it goes up in gradients.
It's January 6th, where you have the President of the United States defying the will of the people in a free and fair election and
defying them and actively going against the Constitution would be saying, no, you cannot protest.
unleashing a violent mob who attacked the United States Capitol.
Yes, because Trump stood there like, what's his face in Braveheart and yelled charge with his giant claymore sword. That's what happened, if I remember correctly.
140 law enforcement officers.
Tulsi Gabbard would have made it an actual interesting election.
Were attacked. Some were killed. And so I say that to say the American people deserve to have a president who encourages healthy debate, works across the aisle, not afraid of good ideas wherever they come from.
Oh, is that what we're selling?
But also maintains certain standards about how we think about the role and the responsibility, and certainly not comparing oneself in a clearly admiring way to Hitler.
Oh my God, comparing himself in an admiring way to Hitler. I want to literally fall off the face of the earth. This is awful. Sinatra 2024, I am not old enough to run yet.
And we are back with Vice President Kamala Harris. I want you to meet Rob McPherson. He's the Chief Marketing Officer for a local organization. He's registered Republican from Media, Pennsylvania, who told us he's leaning towards voting for you, but has concerns about what he calls shifts in your policy positions. Rob?
Okay, this is fair. Let's see how she handles it.
Thank you. Thank you for being here, Vice President Harris.
No, I will be next election.
So welcome to Delco.
Thank you.
Here in Delco, we pride ourselves on being authentic.
Yeah.
And
This whole thing to me screams authenticity. When I look at the people on stage and I look at Anderson Cooper and I look at everything going on right now, it just screams authenticity. Yeah, we're doing a little bit early today, Galaxy Shine. We're doing the thing. We're doing what we can.
much of what we have much of what you've been saying with regard to issues like law and order and fracking reflect a more centrist view than what people are used to hearing from Kamala Harris, leaving some voters to wonder about the authenticity of your current, more moderate positions. Can you talk a little bit about how your positions have shifted and why?
Sure, and thank you. So first of all, on fracking, I've been very clear. We kind of dispensed with this in 2020.
You have been anything but clear on fracking. What do you mean? You have been actively anti-fracking for as long as I can remember.
I am not going to ban fracking. I did not as vice president. In fact, as vice president, I cast the tie-breaking vote that now has opened up more fracking leases. My value on the issue of what we need to do to invest in a clean energy economy and a clean energy future has not changed. But frankly, I now have the experience and perspective of having been vice president for almost 4 years. I've traveled the country. I know that we can invest in a clean energy economy and still not ban fracking and still work toward what we need to do to create more jobs and create U.S.-based jobs in a way that...
Okay, then why did you sit to the side and allow the first action that Biden took to be to close down the pipeline that would have actively made how many jobs? This is just silliness.
Will be globally competitive. On the issue of law and order, as you mentioned, I think there's just a whole lot of misinformation, to be honest with you. I have personally prosecuted very serious crime It's how I started my career. I spent most of my career as a prosecutor, not in Washington, D.C. And as my first priority had and remains as a first priority.
And also, again, why is there no serious talk about nuclear energy, an actual renewable green energy source that there is literally no downside to?
Me, the safety of the American people. So that has not changed. And sadly, I think that there's a bit of misinformation, if not more than a bit. But I'm glad that you raised the subject so that I can address it. But just if you don't mind, just let me just finish. Because I think the spirit of your question is really important, and I'm glad you raised it. Our country deserves to have a president of the United States who is not afraid of good ideas and does not stand up.
Okay, so that's the theme of this one today. Our country deserves me as president. Not I deserve to be president. Okay, our country deserves me. And Trump is literally Hitler. That's what I'm getting from this.
On pride. If a perspective needs to be informed by different points of view to build consensus and to have a common sense approach, I'm never going to shy away from good ideas. And I'm not going to feel the need to have pride associate with a position that I've taken when the important thing is to build consensus to fix problems. I believe in fixing problems. I love fixing problems. And so I pledge to you to be a president who not only works for all Americans, but works on getting stuff done.
This seems like Talking Point, the town hall.
And that means compromise. And it doesn't mean compromising your values or your principles, but it does mean working to get stuff done. And I pledge to you I will do that.
Just to be clear, though, what he's referring to, and you point out to when you were running for vice president in 2020, you were not talking about banning fracking, but...
No, Anderson, I pledged that I would not ban fracking.
Right, I know. You said you would not ban fracking.
Correct.
You know, you had said in the 2019 town hall, there's no question I'm in favor of banning fracking. In 2017, you talked about Medicare for all. You talked about 2019, you raised a hand in debate about if border crossings should be decriminalized. Are all of those issues, which those are not your positions now, are all those issues that you're saying through consensus and getting stuff done you have evolved on?
Well, no, let's take, for example, the issue of Medicare. My point has always been that...
They had almost 4 years to work for all. Yeah, that's a good point. Like, you've been in office for 4 years. Why are you now all of a sudden going, okay, now I'm going to start fixing things. Now this is when I'm going to start making things better. I've been busy for 4 years.
Access to health care should not just be a privilege of those who can afford it. It should be a right for all people. So that is why I have worked on doing what we have done to, one, allow Medicare to negotiate against the big pharmaceutical companies to bring down the cost of prescription medication.
Is this what we're getting into now? Because I seem to remember a good 3 years when everybody on the Democratic side could do nothing, absolutely nothing but praise pharmaceutical companies, let alone fucking like bend over backwards to try to get them more money, more of our tax money. And now we're going to be like, oh, we need to stand up to them. Bitch, you had the chance to do that. You had the opportunity to not let the government be run by big pharmaceutical companies, and you did fucking nothing. You encouraged it.
We've achieved that in terms of capping the cost of insulin for seniors at $35 a month, capping the cost of annual prescriptions at $2,000 a year for seniors. But my plan moving forward, based on that very principle that I've always had, is as president to have that cap be for everyone and not just for our seniors. The work that I have done that has been about recognizing the importance of dealing with border security, that has never changed. As I said, I have prosecuted transnational criminal organizations.
No, you haven't.
I did for years before I ever ran in 2019.
I mean, you did raise your hand saying in a debate when asked if border crossing should be decriminalized, but obviously that is not your position.
I never intended, nor will I.
I never intended to be called out on this 6 years later, so we're not going to talk about it.
ever allow America to have a border that is not secure. I believe we need to deal with illegal immigration. There needs to be consequences, which is why part of my plan that I have outlined, and again, please go to kamalaharris.com. Sorry to throw a website on you, but why not? And you will see that part of my plan includes what we need to do to actually do more as it relates to putting resources in, including increasing penalties for illegal crossings.
And just finally on fracking, you said you're clear you would not ban it as president.
No, I would not ban it as president.
Right, you're clear on that.
But are you going to issue new site permits? Are you going to allow that to be done? Are you going to allow people to get the equipment and the stuff that they need? Are we going to allow any of this?
Do you think it is bad for the environment, though?
I think that we have proven that we can invest in a clean energy economy. We can mitigate greenhouse gas emissions. We can work on and sustaining what we need to do.
Yeah, why were they forcing all border states to cut down their... Have we forgotten the fact that there was almost an active... I keep using that there was almost a full-blown shootout between the Texas, whatever the state people were, and the National Guard because they were coming in and tearing it down, and Texas is like, nah, we're not doing that.
Protect this beautiful earth of ours and not ban fracking.
Time is short, so I want to get some more voters in. Tanisha Spall from Lansdowne, Pennsylvania. She works as an education administration manager for the Pennsylvania Department of Corrections. Registered Democrat who says she's leaning towards supporting you, has yet to make her final decision. Tanisha, welcome.
Thank you, Anderson.
Rangers,
thank you,
thank
Madam
you.
Vice
Thank
President,
you.
for joining us this evening.
Of course.
I appreciate that you did acknowledge that we are a country that is faced with problems and issues. With the Supreme Court being plagued with issues, would you be in favor of expanding the court to, say, 12, so each justice...
Oh, we're going to expand the court, eh? Are we bringing this back up? Fun.
has only one circuit court other than Chief Justice to assist in making judgments more balanced?
Judgments. Whoa. We can make judgments more valid.
Well, to your point, there is no
What
question
point? It's
that
a question.
The American people increasingly are losing confidence in the Supreme Court. And in
Who is losing confidence in the Supreme Court? Roe v. Wade? Okay, you want to make abortion federally legal? You had 4 years to do it. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. People get mad at me about it, but I don't give a fuck. I am pro-abortion. Go ahead. I'm pro-death, capital punishment. Wonderful. I love it. You had 4 years to do this, and you did fucking nothing. Ruth Bader Ginsburg, the damn near beatified Ruth Bader Ginsburg, was one of the most outspoken opponents of Roe v. Wade. This is just silliness.
large part because of the behavior of certain members of that court and because of certain rulings, including the Dobbs decision and taking away a precedent that had been in place for 50 years, protecting a woman's right to make decisions about her own body. So I do believe that there should be some kind of reform of the court, and we can study what that actually looks like. But I do believe. But again, let's just, while you raise the point of the court, understand that, again, in 13 days, the American people will decide who is the next president of the United States. In 13 days, you will decide who is sitting in the Oval Office on January 20th. And on one hand, you have in Donald Trump someone who has increasingly proved himself to be unstable, and who, as we have established and the people close to him have established, he is unfit to serve. Somebody who, on January 20th, you can be sure, will spend full time, like we know, and we've seen the image mentally of him sitting in the dining room off of the Oval Office, watching.
If they expand the Supreme Court, it'll have to be either 13 or 11 judges. It can't be an even number. Yeah, I just kind of let that fly, but yeah, you're right. Thank you, M4.
For hours, as people.
Thank you, Lewis.
People violently attack the Capitol, you can be sure, because he has said he would weaponize the Department of Justice to go after his political enemies, that you can look at a Donald Trump in the White House after January 20th, sitting in that Oval Office, plotting his revenge. He has talked about the enemies within. We haven't even raised that subject, Anderson.
Are we going to sit here and pretend that there are not enemies of the state within the state. Are we going to honestly think that there are people, people, you guys know who I'm talking about, Gates and titties and stuff like that, the Epstein client list that are within the state? Donkey Punch gifting 2 Tier 1 subs to Gen Z and Seahorse Kid. Thank you so much, Donkey Punch, taking the leader spot with 3 gifted subs. Awesome sauce. Thank you. Are we going to... Obviously, they're going to pretend, but why? Why would we pretend that there are not... Like, she's talking about Trump right now as if he were an enemy of the state.
The enemy is within. He's talking about the American people. He's talking about journalists, judges, nonpartisan election officials. He has talked about, as John Kelly has talked about,
Hey, Luna.
can he send the military after peaceful protesters? And he's going to sit there
What peaceful protesters?
unstable, unhinged, plotting his revenge, plotting his retribution, creating an enemies list. I'm going to tell you, my list will be a list of how I address and continue to address the issues that you all are raising this afternoon and evening. It will be a to-do list about how we can impact the American people and lift up the American people and address some of the challenges that we continue to face. So,
Vice President Kamala Harris, thank you very much.
thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Is that the end? Oh, yeah, it is the end. What the fuck?
And thanks for watching. Thanks to all the voters here. Be sure to join CNN on November 5th for Election Night in America right here on CNN. Jake Tapper and Aaron Burnett, pick it up right now.
Oh, they just go into
election
a recap?
was not free to fair and the like. Of course, with only 13 days to go, and Trump and Harris fighting over the even vote and a bash.
Talking to close the deal. They're not sure she did that. And, you know, some people have asked, is she being held to a different standard? Maybe. But that's maybe the world that she's living in.
Okay. Yeah, that's it. That was the whole thing. What the fuck? The video is 37 minutes long. She went to 24. How was that? Okay, whatever. That's fine. All right. I guess that's the end of it. That's okay. Oh, yeah, dude, she really fucking sucks. It's a train wreck. It is. I am actually this is so much worse than I thought it was going to be. I'm actually kind of at a loss because what was that supposed to do? She didn't tell us a single policy position that she had. The whole thing was Trump is bad. Don't vote for Trump. He's bad. What am I supposed to do with that information? I literally I have nothing. She has nothing. I have nothing. I can't even run proper commentary on this because there was nothing there. Like I don't even know what to say. I'm at a loss. I'm at a little bit of a loss. But okay, I guess that's it for this. Just a little pop-up stream. Guys, thank you for coming and hanging out. Thank you for enduring me this morning. I hope everyone has a lovely day. I will see you tomorrow for an early AAA meeting. We'll be starting at 5 instead of 5:30 because Miss Sin and I have someplace to be at 7. So guys, thank you. Have a lovely day, and I will see you.